Great piles of chimneys rose up here and there behind the pointed gables, and seemed as if they were so broken down by age and long service that they must have fallen but for the straggling ivy which, crawling up the walls and trailing even over the roof, wound itself about them and supported them. Straggling. Straggling. Say it. Straggling is moving or spreading untidily and in small numbers or amounts. He told funny stories and led the life himself with such a joyous peal that the man must have been a churl who could not have laughed for pure sympathy. Churl. Churl. Say it. Churl is a rude and mean-spirited person. A fierce and crimson sunset, the mullioned windows and twinkling lattices are all ablaze with the red glory. Mullioned. Mullioned. Say it. Mullioned is with a vertical bar between the panes of glass in a window. But being merely a simple rural functionary, he scratched his stubbled head and stared at the landlord of the Reindeer in utter mental bewilderment. Functionary. Functionary. Say it. Functionary is a person who has to perform official functions or duties, an official. She had acknowledged no divided duty and would have repudiated any encroachment of the new affection upon the old. Repudiated. Repudiated. Say it. Repudiated is refused to accept, rejected. Her placid nature knew no abnormal tendencies. Placid. Placid. Say it. Placid is not easily upset or excited. Time to consolidate. Can you match the words to their correct definitions? Say each word and its definition out loud after pressing pause now. Now check your answers. Press pause now. He wrote a fair businesslike hand, was an excellent arithmetician, remembered a smattering of Latin. Smattering. Smattering. Say it. Smattering is a slight superficial knowledge of a language or subject. Here was a young man with perennial ink smudges upon his face and an untidy chamber in the temple, with nothing more romantic than a wastepaper basket, a litter of old letters and tumbled proofs, and a cracked teapot simmering upon the hob. Perennial. Perennial. Say it. Perennial is lasting or existing for a long or apparently infinite time, enduring or continually recurring. That sanctuary was wide open now, and Mr. Smith and his friend went into it and examined it. Sanctuary. Sanctuary. Say it. Sanctuary is refuge or safety from pursuit, persecution, or other danger. Time to consolidate. What P means lasting or existing for a long or apparently infinite time, enduring or continually recurring. Write it down now. Perennial. What C means a rude and mean-spirited person. Write it down now. Churl. What S means moving or spreading untidily and in small numbers or amounts. Write it down now. straggling. What are means refuse to accept, rejected. Write it down now. Repudiated. Very insignificant sometimes are the first scenes of the play, commonplace, trite, wearisome, but watch them closely, and interwoven with every word, dimly recognisable in every action, may be seen the awful hand of destiny. Trite. Trite. Say it. Trite means of a remark or idea lacking originality or freshness, dull on account of overuse. But his pupil's imperious good nature had overridden every objection, and John Marchmont awoke upon the morning after the meeting at Drury Lane to the rather embarrassing recollection that he was to expect a visitor to breakfast with him. Imperious. Imperious. Say it. Imperious is arrogant and domineering. Then there's the son, only 15, and not yet marriageable. Consumptive, I dare say. Consumptive. Consumptive. Say it. Consumptive is affected with a wasting disease, especially pulmonary tuberculosis. Time to consolidate. Can you match the words to their correct definitions? Say each word and the definition out loud after pressing pause now. Now check your answers. Press pause now. It was one of the oldest firms in the city, and the names of Dunbar and Dunbar painted upon the doorposts and engraved upon shining brass plates on the mahogany doors had never been expunged or altered. Expunged. Expunged. Say it. Expunged is obliterated or removed completely, something unwanted or unpleasant. The traveller coming a stranger to the little town might fancy himself 100 miles away from boisterous London, though he is barely clear of the great city's smoky breath, or beyond the hearing of her myriad clamorous tongues. Myriad. Myriad. Say it. Myriad is countless or extremely great in number. James Wentworth jingled the money in his waistcoat pocket as he walked towards the railway station. Jingled. Jingled. Say it. Jingled is made or caused to make a light metallic ringing sound. Time to consolidate. What is the missing word here, meaning refuge or safety from pursuit, persecution or other danger? Write it down. Sanctuary. And what is the missing word here, meaning arrogant and domineering? Write it down. Imperious. And how about this missing word, meaning affected with a wasting disease, especially pulmonary tuberculosis? Write it down. Consumptive. And finally this missing word, meaning obliterated or removed completely, something unwanted or unpleasant. Write it down. Expunged. Now the line seems strung like a thread of iron in mid-air above a deep gorge. Now winds sinuous as a snake through a labyrinth of hills. Sinuous. Sinuous. Say it. Sinuous is having many curves and turns. There was great excitement in Bodmin on the afternoon of the inquest, a delicious summer afternoon which seemed made for quiet Arcadian joys. Arcadian. Arcadian. Say it. Arcadian is relating to an ideal pastoral paradise. My dear Dora, what a delightful embodiment of provincial simplicity you show yourself in this business, said her husband laughingly. Embodiment. Embodiment. Say it. Embodiment is a tangible or visible form of an idea, quality or feeling. Time to consolidate all the words now. Define consumptive out loud. Consumptive is affected with a wasting disease, especially pulmonary tuberculosis. Define imperious out loud. Imperious is arrogance and domineering. Define placid out loud. Placid is not easily upset or excited. Define repudiated out loud. Repudiated is refused to accept, rejected. Define sanctuary out loud. Sanctuary is refuge or safety from pursuit, persecution or other danger. Define trite out loud. Trite is of a remark or idea lacking originality or freshness, dull on account of overuse. Define functionary out loud. Functionary is a person who has to perform official functions or duties, an official. Define mullioned out loud. Mullioned is with a vertical bar between the panes of glass in a window. Define churl out loud. Churl is a rude and mean-spirited person. Define straggling out loud. Straggling is moving or spreading untidily and in small numbers or amounts. Define myriad out loud. Myriad is countless or extremely great in number. Define expunged out loud. Expunged is obliterated or removed completely, something unwanted or unpleasant. Define smattering out loud. Smattering is a slight superficial knowledge of a language or subject. Define perennial out loud. Perennial is lasting or existing for a long or apparently infinite time, enduring or continually recurring. Define sinuous out loud. Sinuous is having many curves and turns. Define jingled out loud. Jingled is made or caused to make a light metallic ringing sounds. Define embodiment out loud. Embodiment is a tangible or visible form of an idea, quality or feeling. Define Arcadian out loud. Arcadian is relating to an ideal pastoral paradise. In this video, we've looked at the following words: straggling, churl, mullioned, functionary, repudiated, placid, smattering, perennial, sanctuary, trite, imperious, consumptive, expunged, myriad, jingled, sinuous, arcadian, embodiment. This has been a Schofield on Shakespeare production, aiming to boost your understanding of 19th century vocabulary, particularly in view of the requirements of the GCSE and IGCSE English Language papers. It has included words taken from the glorious novels of M E Braddon. Many thanks for watching.